Alright, I'm keeping it simple this week. We're just gonna react to this whole idea that gun makers tweak rifles to get around assault weapons bans. Let's see what they have to say.
Take a look at these two guns. One is an AR-15 style rifle that's been altered with something called a Juggernaut Tactical Hellfighter Kit. The other is a classic Colt AR-15. The two guns look kind of different, but they have a lot of the same features and a lot of similarities in how they shoot. The biggest difference you actually can't see. One has been illegal in California for more than 30 years, which is why we had to use a photo. The other, you can buy at a local gun store. Over the past few decades, lawmakers in California have repeatedly tried to ban what they define as assault weapons. And each time, gun manufacturers responded by making small changes so they could continue selling that style of gun in the state. One of these guns, an AR-15 style rifle, was used in April in a shooting at a synagogue near San Diego. Despite California's bans, the gun the shooter was using was perfectly legal in the state, according to law enforcement officials familiar with the investigation. To understand how this happened, you have to look at how guns in the state have evolved. First, here's the Colt AR-15 again. This is approximately what AR-15s looked like back before the state's first ban in 1989, and what they still look like in states that haven't passed bans. It has a pistol grip and a...
Okay, that right there is just a fucking hard-ass lie. Alright, people who go out and buy AR-15s generally do not buy ones that look like that, no matter what state you're in. If you're honestly gonna put a name to that, I would say that it looks more like a M16, but whatever. You can probably find AR-15s that look like that, unless the longer barrel makes it not an AR-15. But no, that is not what AR-15s look like in other states. They fucking look like this thing right here. Either of these, like, that is what AR-15s look like nowadays. This is a old ass design. This design is lighter and is more adaptable to like whatever you want. You can put more attachments on these designs. So the idea that this is what AR-15s look like in all the other states that aren't California or places with assault weapons bans, that's just no, that's wrong. Also, the idea that like, oh, they have so many features in common, and then it highlights a fucking trigger area. Like, yeah, all guns have that, a little place for your finger to go. Oh, it's got a fucking grip that's at an angle. Yeah, every fucking handgun has one of those. All right, revolvers can be shaped a little bit different, especially if they're older. But like, this is just what a fucking modern gun looks like. And if you look at it, this one has like a little thing right there to go underneath your middle finger, and that one doesn't. Like, so it's already different. And then it's like, oh, it has a barrel. Who'da thunk that a thing that shoots projectiles has a little tube for the projectile to go through? Huh. It's like, oh yeah, it has so many of the same features. Also, I'd like to point out that I think this might be a left side image turned around, because if you notice, this is where the casings get ejected out of, or anytime this moves back, this is where whatever was in the chamber leaves. This just doesn't have one. So, I mean, they probably either don't know or they just didn't give a fuck that this is turned around and is actually the left side of the gun, not the right side.
To understand how this happened, you have to look at how guns in the state have evolved. First, here's the Colt AR-15 again. This is approximately what AR-15s looked like back before the state's first ban in 1989, and what they still look like in states that haven't passed bans. It has a pistol grip and a flash suppressor, features that California lawmakers have since said make the weapons particularly dangerous. This type of gun was banned in 19 make the weapons particularly dangerous.
And how do they make them particularly dangerous? Ever stop to think that? Because let me tell you, the functions that make this pistol grip so dangerous is it's kind of comfortable to hold. That's it. The flash suppressor makes it dangerous because there's less of a fireball that goes out the front of it. It literally fucking lowers the amount of fire that is being flung out of the front of the barrel. But it's more dangerous. No, it's bullshit that would be inherently more dangerous.
This type of gun was banned in 1989 after a gunman entered a school in Stockton, California and opened fire. He killed 5 and injured 32 others using an AK-47. After that, the state passed the Roberti-Roos Assault Weapons Control Act, which bans certain guns by name.
There was a lot of outrage, and this was the impetus for the first assault weapons ban in the nation in California.
In response, gun makers started developing similar guns with different names. That meant that guns like the Colt AR-15 were changed slightly and resold with names like the Colt Sporter. Then, in 1999, lawmakers amended the law to ban weapons with specific parts, such as semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines, pistol grips, thumbhole stocks, folding stocks, grenade launcher, flash suppressors, and forward pistol grips. But there was a
I will say the way he says it makes it sound like any one of those things is an assault weapon. However, if it has a detachable magazine and any of the other things he listed, then it's an assault weapon. And then after that, it says fixed mag with more than 10 rounds.
way around this.
So you can have literally any of those features you want if the magazine is fixed. Literally, you can have a fucking pistol grip drilled into a thumbhole stock, and then a grenade launcher or a flare launcher on the front of it with a flash suppressor, and even a forward pistol grip attached to the grenade or flare launcher. You can have all that if the magazine is fixed and only has 10 or less rounds in it, or only 10 rounds can be put into the magazine. That makes it not an assault weapon. How does that make sense? If it has all of these heinous features that just make something so dangerous inherently. Oh, but if you only have 10 rounds, like, you can own all that stuff. It's fine. It's not dangerous then. I'm sorry, but if a fucking grenade launcher is so fucking dangerous that it can't be allowed and anything with it is an assault weapon, why can't it be attached to a gun that only has the capacity to accept 10 rounds at a time and the magazine doesn't detach easily?
Yes. Guns with fixed magazines could keep these features.
One of the areas they focused on was making it harder for mass shooters to reload and have as many rounds of ammunition in their magazine. The definition of a fixed magazine was that you couldn't remove it without a tool, and the manufacturers realized that a tool could be a bullet.
So, gun makers modified guns so the magazines could be changed with a single bullet, which met the state's definition of a tool. This allowed them to keep the banned features and still sell guns with magazines that could be changed without much trouble. This became known as the bullet button loophole. This bullet button modification was legal in California for around a decade. Then, in 2015, 2 shooters stormed a holiday gathering in San Bernardino, California, and killed 14 people. They were carrying AR-15 style rifles with bullet buttons they had bought in California and then illegally altered. After the shooting, lawmakers
And then illegally altered. I want you to note that. They bought legal firearms and then did illegal shit to them. And now the state wants to ban legal firearms because these people did illegal shit with legal firearms that they then did illegal shit to. They got the base of a legal firearm and then they fucked with it because they're criminals and they don't give a fuck what the law says.
tried to pass new legislation. This time, they focused on closing the bullet button loophole.
This incident caught the attention of a state lawmaker by the name of Steve Glazer, and he decides he wants to try to close this so-called bullet button loophole. And so he does something to ban these bullet button guns, and what he does is changes the definition of a fixed magazine to one that cannot be removed without the disassembly of the firearm action.
The law passed, which meant bullet button guns were banned. And yet again, modifications were made so that more AR-style features could be kept. Remember the AR-style rifle?
The way he says so that more AR-15 style features can be kept is a little weird, but I can't really speak specifically to it. But so that you can keep your gun's functions.
With the Juggernaut Tactical Hellfighter from the beginning? The Juggernaut Tactical Hellfighter is a kit that alters an assault-style rifle so that users can change the magazine by cracking open the action just
I'm sick and tired of people saying assault-style rifle, but whatever. That's my only gripe.
an assault-style rifle so that users can change the magazine by cracking open the action just a hair. Like this. Gun dealers say this legally counts as disassembly of the firearm action. So gun makers started here, and decades later, after multiple assault weapon bans, they ended here.
If you talk to any gun dealer or person who shoots guns, they'll tell you
Literally, all those fucking changes that you can easily see, like the vast differences, like there are similarities in the overall shape, but the vast differences in design are just technology becoming better. Like, it's just technology advancing. It is just the making it more functional and the making it easier for your everyday American to use. It's just the evolution of technology. The specifics, so I just want to say that because the little tiny nitty gritty specifics are very small. But let's continue.
A California compliant AR-15, as they are called, shoots just the same as a normal AR-15.
Yeah.
The bullets going just...
Literally every fucking place that is banned assault weapons, you can still get those weapons. You just lack a feature or a few features of it. But they're never banning the type, like the function of a weapon, because, oh, what's that? The weapon functions just like all these other fucking weapons that if you tried to ban, people would be like, yo, what the fuck? These are hunting rifles. And so then you'd get a mass fucking outrage. But so you can't fucking ban those because it would cause mass outrage. But if you just trick people into thinking that AR-15s are something special, then because they look a little different or they have a couple of niceties to them, you can then ban those. And then when nothing fucking changes after you ban those, you're like, oh, but we need even more strict gun control and more strict gun control until eventually you get everyone on board because they're so not used to firearms at all that they don't understand any of the functions of it. And so they're like, yeah, well, let's just ban all semi-autos. That's an actual thing that's happened. Yeah, the government actually wants to fucking ban semi-autos now. Not even the government. The fucking gun control advocates want to ban semi-autos. Do you know what a fucking semi-auto is? This fucking World War II gun is a semi-auto. Oh, so it's a fucking automatic weapon. No, watch this video, okay? It's literally like a fucking hunting rifle at this point. It has the exact same basic operations to fire that like one would do with a gun. It has the same basic manipulations to fire. You pull the trigger, it goes bang. You release the trigger, you pull the trigger, it goes bang. That's what a fucking semi-auto is. This is old-ass technology. There's nothing fucking special about AR-15s. Let's continue.
Smith & Wesson.
Compliant AR-15, as they are called, shoots just the same as a normal AR-15. The bullets going just as fast.
Smith & Wesson.
Because if they tried to ban semi-autos, there'd be a major fucking uproar. Or if they tried to ban a certain thing about it, there'd be a major fucking uproar. Because it would apply to a bunch of other guns, because it's not special. It's not.
And Ruger, Colt, and Juggernaut did not respond to a request for comment. A spokesperson from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, a trade group for gun manufacturers, said of the state laws, quote, they're basing the ban strictly on cosmetic features that have no bearing on the operation or the function of the firearm.
Really? Yes. They're basing bans strictly on cosmetic features that have no bearing on the operation or the function of the firearm. Exactly my point. The AR-15's not special, okay? But it's black, and it looks scary. So they're like, oh, all you people who don't know anything about firearms, look at this scary gun. Ooh. That is the most popular rifle in the entire United States. Literally the most popular rifle. We need to ban it, because criminals. Even though the average criminal is actually just using a handgun. But there's a little tiny subset of like a couple of people each year that use an AR-15 or something similar. Because again, they're not special. But it's a common rifle. So if a criminal does use a rifle, they're more likely to use an AR-15 because it's just more common.
A spokesperson for the California State Attorney General declined to comment on the modified weapons.
Probably because they fucking have either been warned to not talk about banned weapons or like with ways people get around it, or they know what the fuck's going on and they're like, I shouldn't say anything because then someone might find out and it might get widely publicized that we're just looking to ban these things because we want to ban guns. But like, oh hey, Argentine President Milei says there's no plan B for economy. Is there ever a plan B for an economy? I don't know. Anyways, please do some fucking research. Don't let places like the Wall Street Journal tell you, oh, these things are so much more dangerous, and yet they're not actually telling you how it's more dangerous. Oh, it's this, the banned ones are the same as the non-banned ones. Yeah, because if you tried to ban the non-banned ones too, the only way you could do it is by banning a fuck ton of other firearms that are in no way related to the AR-15 because, oh, what's that? They all kind of use a similar technology because it just fucking works. And it's good for hunting, and it's good for sports shooting, and it's good for all these other things. It's not an exclusively evil thing. Whatever. One more video down by the media. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and peace.